How's it going, everyone? We are doing a live reselling Q&A here about eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Amazon, First Class Treasures, whatnot. If you guys have any questions about reselling or any of those platforms, please go ahead and put them in the comments and we will get to them, whether you are here on YouTube or Facebook. For those of you that are re-watching this, I'm just kind of talking to allow enough people to get into the building so we can actually talk about what I want to go over today. So just if you're rewatching this, skip forward a couple of minutes so that way you can get right into the topic. But if you guys have any questions about reselling, about technical questions like promoted listings or markdown strategies or anything like that, if you guys have any questions about sourcing at thrift stores or yard sales or anything, if you guys have questions about the platforms, or if you have questions about business or finance, taxes, investing, I like to talk about any and all of those things. So if you guys have any questions at all, please put them into the chat and we will get to them. I'm hoping to hang out with you guys for about an hour and a half. So please ask any and all questions that you would like to about reselling and business in general. Once we are out of questions, we will just get out of here. So even if you've asked the question before, or if you feel like I've answered the same question over and over again, I love to answer any and all questions. So please don't be afraid to ask any questions so that way we can keep things going for a while. But I discovered something that's a game changer for my business, not clickbait at all. So I was listening to a YouTube video by Scott, the Rad Picker. Many of you may know him. He has a YouTube channel. Go check it out if you haven't already. But he was just in his truck talking about some reselling stuff, and then he just like very low-key mentioned that he got a few static sales on Whatnot. And I'm like, that's pretty crazy. But then I started to think, like, Whatnot has actually done a really good job of creating an infrastructure for sales, not only live sales, but all sales. So I use crosslist.com. There's a link in the description if any of you guys are interested in it. You get 30% off your first month or year, depending on what you sign up for, if you use my link. I decided it allows you to cross-list to Whatnot. So I have 2,100 items in my eBay store. I cross-listed all of them over to Whatnot, and I had 7 static sales yesterday. 7. I was quite impressed. I couldn't believe it. I sold a couple of cameras, a couple of like 3 pairs of sunglasses, and then a toy. It was insane. So I will be cross-listing all of my items to Whatnot. I also was able to get my Depop account back. I was banned on Depop because they don't allow you to sell electronics. And when I first started Depop, I had like 3,500 items in my eBay store. I cross-listed all of them over to Depop, and they let me get away with it for like 2 weeks. But then all of a sudden, after 2 weeks, I even sold like 8 or 9 items. But after 2 weeks, they're like, hey, we're banning your account because you keep selling electronics. You keep trying to sell electronics. I'm like, oh, shoot. But my Depop account is back, so I'm going to be cross-listing all of my eyeglasses and everything fashion over there. So it'll be good. Let me know in the comments, do any of you guys still like subscribe to the like tech and sports method of just a boring cross-listing? His method is that you just get really good at eBay, you cancel out the noise, and you just focus on eBay, and you do not cross-list whatsoever because it's a waste of time. I understand the concept, and I think it's a pretty decent business model. But is anyone like not actually cross-listing? Because even Mercari, I get my least amount of sales on Mercari. I get about 1 to 3 sales per day on Mercari with 2,000 items. On Poshmark, I get anywhere from, on a slow day, I'll have 4. On a quick day, I'll have like 11. So I average, we'll say 1.5 sales on Mercari per day. I average, we'll say 7 sales on Poshmark. Yesterday, my first day ever on Whatnot, I sold 7. I've already sold 2 today as well. And on Depop, I sell 2 or 3 more a day. And then on eBay, as my store shrinks, I'm actually selling a little bit less each day. But on eBay, I'm still selling about 13 per day. So I'm selling about 25 items per day across all of these platforms. Where if I just focused on eBay alone, I think I would only be averaging about 17 or 18 right now. So I really like cross-listing, and I had no idea that Whatnot was going to be that great for static listings. So Every day I'm going to be listing my 20 or 25 items. I'm going to be getting them cross-listed to all of the other sites. And for those of you that don't know, I am actively trying to get my store smaller. Like I said, at one point I had 3,400 items. I am down to 2,100 items. I wanted to get down to 2,000 by the end of this year. I'm definitely going to get there. Because of cross-listing and because of live sales, I'm able to sell a ton of this product at a pretty decent price on First Class Treasures, where it's a win-win for me, the seller, and for the buyer, because then they're able to enjoy it for themselves or resell it as well at a profit. So it's going really well. I dream of having a 1,000 item store. It just sounds awesome. Honestly, 500 items would be great. Because with cross-listing, it's still like time consuming and there's a couple drawbacks of it. Crosslist.com is extremely fast, but I can't cross-list pocket knives that I sell a lot of to Mercari. I can't cross-list any electronics over to Depop, things like that. So I do have to be a little meticulous on what's going where and getting everything delisted when it sells and stuff. But cross-listing is awesome, and I'm actually really pumped about Whatnot. Static sales on Whatnot, I sell a lot of sunglasses and watches and toys and things like that that sell really well over there live. And I'm noticing that they're selling very well by it now as well. But anyway, it's a game changer. Selling all of those items static on Whatnot. If I can continue to sell between 5 and 10 per day, I mean, that huge splash probably had an impact for sure. So I'm sure that's going to trickle down. But if Whatnot, static Whatnot sales can add, even if it's only 2 more sales per day, that's awesome, especially in my pursuit to have a smaller, more manageable store. So I'm pretty excited about it. But we have close to 0 questions. So I'd love to hang out with you guys for about 2 hours. So please ask any and all questions about eBay, Poshmark, First Class Treasures, Mercari, Whatnot, Amazon. If you guys have any questions about reselling in general, whether it be promoted listings or markdown strategies or anything like that, I really want to hang out with you guys. And we have, I think, 2 questions. So while I'm answering these 2 questions, please ask 10 or 15 more. All right. So the first question is Markdown Strategies, ? Yeah, so I mark down my items every single day. So what I do is I focus on having as close to a 100% sell-through rate store as I can. And what that does is it makes it so not very many of my items get to 90 days is the goal. But when items do make it to 90 days, what I do is I mark them down 15%. Now, everyone goes back and forth about if you should delist or relist or just do a sales discount or end and sell similar, all of that stuff. This is what I do. It has nothing to do with the algorithm. It just has everything to do with organization. Every 90 days that an item is listed, so if you go to your active listings, it'll show this item has been listed for 87 days or 143 days. Or if you are a volume store that's not very good at this job, your item has been listed for 1,659 days. You definitely don't want that. Inflation has eaten and eroded away all of your profits. Anyway, different discussion. If you guys have questions about that, we can dive into it as well. But every time my items get to 90 days, every morning I wake up and anywhere from 5 to 50 items have hit the 90-day mark. So I delist all of the items that have been in my store for 90 days or longer, and I delist them. I bulk edit all of them together, and I go to buy it now, and I decrease the price by 15%, and then I relist them. The only reason why I delist and relist is because when I relist them, the counter starts back at 0. So if I was just doing the 15% off discount, then I would have to go to a page and find all of them that were 90 days, and then all of them that were 180, all of them that were 270, and take much more time to do this process. But if I delist them and sell similar, they go back to 0. And so every day, I have items hit 90 days. Some of them are hitting 180, some of them are hitting 270, but it just shows 90, and I'm able to delist and relist them. I personally right now don't think that you can survive as an eBay seller without a markdown strategy. If you are not marking down your items, you may go out of business in 2025 and 2026. I think it's essential. So what there's plenty of ways to mark down. You can do your 15% every 90 days like I do. Page the Flipper has experimented with marking his items down 3% every 30 days. That can work as well. You can do 10%. You can mark your items down like every 250 or 300 days. I think that's what the Commonwealth Flipper does, something like that. You can have different markdown strategies, but I think you need to be marking down your items if you want to survive as an eBay reseller. And by survive, I mean thrive. Because anyone can make $400 a year on eBay, but you need to be making, thousands and thousands every month. So what else do you guys have? How do you source online or no? I know you've talked about it before, but would love to know more if possible. Do you have recommendations for beginners? Yes, type in JRide Flips online sales. Hi.
You didn't get a blower, did you?
No, they were like $148. So I get this question every single live, and it's way too big of a topic to dive into on a live, but I have plenty of videos talking about it. It's simple. The methodology and how you do it is very simple, but it is very difficult because you're going up against me and guys and gals that have even more money and time and resources than me. So a lot of times when it comes to online sourcing, you have to spend $12 on something that's going to sell for $21 plus shipping. And a lot of you guys aren't set up for that business model. But there's a lot of times where you're able to buy things for $2 that sell for 21. That's amazing. That's what you want to get to. But yeah, I have plenty of videos on the subject. So just look it up and you can learn how to do it. Always cross-list. Yeah, cross-listing is so easy. It says Miss Temptation Treasures. I agree. I don't currently cross-list since I live in Canada. I might consider selling on Whatnot, though. Yeah, Whatnot is a great opportunity. Live selling, and as I discussed in the beginning of the video, static selling as well. Mercari stinks, but I still list there because I do get an occasional sale there, and it isn't hard to list, so why not? Yeah, I mean, Mercari is great for me. I sell like $30,000 a year on Mercari. So again, I just have like high sell-through items that are in demand. People Google search them, and then it brings them to Mercari, and they buy there for the first time on a lot of my items. What's up, brother? What are some quick fixes for digital cameras? So this is going to sound crazy, but a lot of times when a camera has a lens error, I have plenty of cameras right next to me. A lot of times when a camera has a lens error, Jose, all I simply do is this. I push it again. It comes out, doesn't work. I get it back in. I do that again. And sometimes after like 5 or 6 tries, the lens error goes away. It's crazy. Another thing that you can do to fix lens errors, let me get a better example of one. Here's one with an actual lens. So this one, a lot of times it has a lens error because there's a lot of dirt and grime in there. So you just take a piece of paper and you just stick it in the lens and you rotate around it. And it gets a lot of the junk and the debris. And every time you see a circle, just try to wedge a piece of paper in it like so. Go all the way around a few times and get that gunk out. And then sometimes, boom, the lens starts working again. Sound is off. Is that true? Only one person just said that. Microphone's getting a lot of static. Does it still suck? Or is my audio pretty good? This is my first time doing a live from the garage, so that might be it. And then, of course, sound is good. Okay. And then, of course, when there's battery acid on the terminals in the camera, don't fret. There's a good chance that you can't get it to work, but there's also a good chance that it just needs a little bit of white vinegar and a nice little toothbrush. Boom, you have a working camera. What's your best find this year? My best find this year, I'm so stupid that I didn't make a video on this. I bought on Whatnot. A guy was just selling, he's like, hey, I just got this box of watches. I have no idea what's in them. I'm just going to run it. And I won the box for $150. I'm so stupid for not making a YouTube video on this. Anyway, in the box, I found a Rolex Oyster chronograph. It's worth about $8,000. I didn't even post it on eBay or anything. I just went to a Facebook group for watch nerds, and I just posted, hey, I have this Rolex. It's going for $8,000. I'm open to offers. Someone offered me $6,900 for it. He lived in Arizona, so he just took a quick flight to where I lived and gave me $6,900 cash for it. It was awesome. That's my best find of the year, for sure. Are you still needing help? I'm not sure what that means. On Poshmark, you just have to do that at 61 days, and they're freezing accounts for delisting super soon. Huh? Oh, so my markdown strategy is only on eBay as well. I don't like do markdowns on Mercari or Poshmark or anything. But yeah. What's going on, Jake? Your mic is suddenly filled with static. Can't hear you. Okay, a lot of people are saying it, but now a lot of people are saying that it does work. So, but we are already almost to the end of questions again. So again, I am begging and pleading. Please don't make me turn this off in 5 minutes. Please ask more questions. When doing your markdowns, is that across all platforms? No, yeah. So I just said it's only on eBay. Do you recommend having a scheduled time for listing or just having a goal of listing a certain amount of items per day? I have neither. List as many quality items as you can when you get them. So it doesn't matter if you list them at 4 a.m. your time or 4 p.m. your time, and you don't have to list the exact same amount of items every single day. If you find 9 good ones, list 9 good ones. If you find 18 good ones, list 18 good ones. If you find 600 good ones, list 20 a day for 30 days. Things like that. But it does not matter when you list, and it doesn't matter how often and how much you're listing. It matters how good the items are that you are listing. So a lot of people like think that like there's this overarching algorithm that is just taking away sales from others and giving it to others. When your items, the more your items suck, the more you believe in this ideology, the better your items are, the less you agree with this ideology. So if you have 10,000 horrible items, you notice that like on the days that you list more, you sell more. And on the days that you don't list, you sell less. A lot of that has to do with some, even volume sellers find banger items. So you're listing cassettes all day, every day. Like let's say you list 1,000 cassettes per week. 950 of them are going to have less than a 10% sell-through rate. 30 of them are going to have about a 50% sell-through rate. How many am I down to now? Like 20? 10 of them are going to have around 100% sell-through rate. And then 10 of them are going to have like a 500% sell-through rate because they're just super hot and in demand, right? So if you list every single day, you're going to list 1 to 3 of those every day that sell the week you list them. So as you are listing consistently, those really fast sell-through rate items get bought up along with your 1 to 5 trash items that just sell every day. So on the days that you don't list good stuff, you don't get those quick sell-through rate item moves. You just are left to deal with your pile of 50,000 cassettes that suck. You know what I mean? So I hope that made sense. But yeah, don't like the better your items are, all of the noise starts to go away. Like it just goes away. Because when you're not selling anything, you want to blame anything except for yourself and your items. You just want to blame the algorithm. And so then you try to game the system in the algorithm, and you believe that you have to do all of these special things. But the best and most special thing you can do is just buy better items. We got a super chat. Been a while since I've gotten one of those. Appreciate that. Conscious Reseller, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, buying my way to more subscribers. Jay would be proud. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone go check out Conscious Reseller's YouTube channel. Good stuff. Let's see here. All right, looks like we got a few more questions. I appreciate that. Keep them coming so we can hang out a little bit longer. All right, I was curious about the sellers on First Class Treasures Live. How can they afford to sell things for $1 at a time? Because they're not selling everything for $1 at a time. So if you run 50 items and 6 of them sell for $1, that's fine, because the other 44 sold for an average of $9 or more. And if you're getting your items for free or close to free, then you're making a ton of money. So, for example, behind me, I have Invicta watches and Tiffany & Co. eyeglasses that I'm going to be selling tonight on First Class Treasures. Those are not going to go for $1. Even if you only have 2 people in your show, Tiffany eyeglasses are not going to go for $1. You know what I mean? So if you just run good items, you're not going to sell them for $1. Now, if you bring 100 sports cards and you try to sell all of them individually, and they're just like a base Anderson Varejao card, it's maybe someone will pay $1 for it, but not more, right? But yeah, like we're emotional creatures. Like emotions hit us much harder than logic does. So we see Harry Tornado sell one $10 item for $60 on Whatnot, and we think that he sells all of his garbage items for $60. That's not how it works. Or we see one person sell one $60 item for $2, and we think all items sell for $2. That's not how it works, right? So Harry Tornado sells a lot of really good items for below eBay prices, and he sells some not so good items for above eBay prices. But he has an average sales price on all of his items that I believe is a lot lower than the average person thinks it is. So I know that because everyone thinks that my average resale price in live shows is like extremely high, and it's like, no, it's like it depends on what I bring. If I bring only $80 eBay items to a live show on First Class Treasures, then my average sales price is probably going to be like $50, which is awesome. I get rid of all of it in one day. But if I bring 100 $20 eBay items, my average sales price is probably going to be $4 or $5. It just depends on your items. But if I get all of those items for free, or for 35 cents each in a bulk buyout, I'm making money if I sell it for $2. Do you have lithium battery stickers? No, if you just ship everything ground advantage, you don't have to worry about that. So if you ship things in the air, then you run into a lot more regulations. But there's no issue with shipping lithium batteries on ground advantage. You don't have to declare it or anything. How important is the word new in a listing title on eBay? Should that be put towards the beginning or the end of the listing title? It works on either side. I think you're overthinking it a little bit, which I did as well when I was first starting. But like, I don't know. The title structure is important, but it's not as important as we think it is. People are going to take that out of context, but I don't know. I think we overthink everything in this business. Like, just list really good items and just think, how would you search for it? So would you search new Patriots hat, or would you just search Patriots hat and filter to new? It's the same thing. So it doesn't matter if it's new Patriots hat or Patriots hat new. They're both going to sell if it's a good item, or they're both going to sit if it's not a good item. What's the RPM for reselling related YouTube videos? Drastically different. So like this live show, if we just continue to talk about what we're talking about, I will make probably $11 every 1,000 views. But if you guys start asking me questions about real estate and taxes and all that stuff, I've had videos where I make $43 every 1,000 views. It's dope. But if you are going to yard sales, it's typically like $6 every 1,000 views. And if you are doing like what sold videos and talking about building an eBay business, I usually make $9 every 1,000 views. Long form. Is TJ Maxx and Ross the best place to find higher end makeup to buy for resale? Are there other good places as well? I wouldn't call it higher end makeup, but I'd call it quality makeup. So higher end is Gucci and Tiffany and Chanel. You're never going to find those at TJ Maxx or Ross, but you are going to find pretty decent Clinique and Estee Lauder and things like that. So those are two of the better stores, but I've had a lot of success at Walmart. Every once in a while, you can have success at Macy's. Like sometimes Sephora will just like buy 3 get 9 free of these lip glosses. It's insane. So really anywhere that sells makeup you can make money on. You just have to have a lot of patience and shop deals and stuff. How's it going, Lag? Appreciate you being here. I want a PS5 giveaway on Whatnot. Easy $800. That is insane. Flippin' ain't easy. Not John. A different flippin' ain't easy, right? Good stuff. How much do you think intelligence has a part in success as a reseller? Thanks. So much. Intelligence plays a factor in success in everything. If you are more intelligent, you're going to make more money reselling. You're going to make more money in door-to-door sales. You're going to make more money as an engineer. You're going to make more money as a firefighter. Like the more intelligent you are, the better you're going to do in whatever you're doing. And the dumber you are, the worse you're going to do. So, yeah. So just always be expanding your intelligence in any way you can. And I would recommend expanding your intelligence on eBay selling specifically through YouTube videos and Google. But much more than that, I would be studying like self-help books. I would be studying religious texts that's going to help you be a better person. Like, I say this all the time. If you take 3 minutes off of your mile time, I believe that you will make $20,000 or more per year in your eBay business. The more unhealthy you are, the dumber you are, the more stubborn you are, the less easy you are to talk to, the less money you're going to make on eBay. The better relationship you have with yourself and with God and with your spouse and with your children or other family members, the more you read every morning and night, the more you work out, the heavier you can lift, the faster you can run, the more money you're going to make on eBay. Are there any new platforms or tools to help us with reselling that we should be aware of? I was talking about it earlier in the video. Whatnot static sales are pretty sweet. But other than that, Deal Soldier is still awesome. Crosslist.com is really nice. I'm really liking that. And yeah. Lag says, what AI lister is best in your opinion? Love this question. I don't use any AI listers because my method of listing is just so fast already. I just sell similar off of someone else's successful listing, and I use my smartphone. And I'm able to do a lot of listings per hour for sure. So I actually don't recommend AI listers for my business or for what I recommend to other people, right? I don't recommend slow sell-through rate volume. I recommend small store, fastest sell-through rate possible. So the AI lister wouldn't help for my business model or for the business model that I think the average reseller beginner should take part in. So I don't use any AI listers. I love AI. I use AI for a ton of different aspects of my personal life and my business, but I don't use it to list items because I don't want to sell. I don't want to list 240 bad items in 2 hours. I want to list 35 good items in 1 hour. When are you going to start your stock channel? Oh, dude, I don't know. I love personal finance. I really want to start making videos about it. I should probably just start, huh? Maybe I'll start tomorrow. Could you share niche eBay lots to flip that people might not think of? I talk about them all the time. Might not think of. Let's see. What are eBay lots that I've never thought about? Spark plugs for cars. Bottle caps. New old stock candy from the 1940s and 50s. Yeah, basically anything. I recommend bulk buying things that can fit in your hand. So anything imaginable that can fit in your hand that you like. We'll continue asking until you give us a date. Will do. Appreciate it, man. Why is Poshmark so sell for slowers right now? I think you are just experiencing slow sales and you are looking for a group of individuals that are sharing your same experience. I'm still selling a ton of items every single day on Poshmark. Poshmark sales have not slowed down for me. They've actually increased and sped up. So a lot of times we just want other people to share our same experience. And so instead of like, we just kind of look for our bias. So I would just continue to keep surrounding yourself with people who are always trying to win and just keep winning with them. 2K slow STR, still paying all my bills. Yeah, no, you definitely can. But I don't know. I guess for me, for everything that I want to do, I want to make $1 million a year doing it. So I think the easiest way to $1 million a year is cameras and AirPods. And I think one of the slowest ways to $1 million a year is cassettes and paperback books. Best Levi's jeans to buy? Jeez. I don't know a lot about clothing or jeans. Vintage ones, that's for sure. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you. What do you think about investing into a Pokemon vending machine right now? Costs $5,000 for one machine with $1,200 in inventory, and additional machines at $2,500. Depends on the foot traffic of where you're able to set up your vending machine, and depends on your business-to-business sales skills, because you're going to have to convince a business to let you set one up. So if you already have a buddy that's going to let you put a vending machine in their Walmart because they're a store manager, yeah, that's a great business. But I would get a verbal contract with a business that has a lot of foot traffic, allowing you to put that vending machine there first. I know a guy who was doing reselling, who started to get into vending machines, and then he left reselling and is now has like 50 vending machines all across his town, and he's just doing that full time. So it's definitely possible. But I don't know. And his aren't vending machines, they're claw machines, which is immediately what I thought you said. Not sure if that's what you mean. But I think a claw machine in a Walmart could work, or a movie theater, but they probably already have contracts for that in the first place, so it'd be hard to get into. So I don't know. If you have a spot or two that has 10,000 people walking past it every day, I think you'd be good to do it. My dog is screaming. 1 second. Scout, what's going on? What's going on, Scout? Come here. You gonna hang out with me? Who are you barking at, huh? Oh. Someone's at my door, that's why. It's probably just Amazon. Oh, actually, I bought a $1,400 package getting delivered today, so I probably need to sign for it. It's a box of glasses. Hi. How's it going?
I got a FedEx box that needs a signature.
Appreciate it. You're live on YouTube right now.
Sweet. What's your last name?
Ryder.
All right.
Appreciate it. I'm just gonna open the garage. Will you sit in there?
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks, man. I just bought a ton of Oakleys and Ray-Bans off of eBay. So. Should we unbox them live? Just kidding. Wow, that's a big boy.
Yeah. All yours.
Sweet, appreciate it, man. Thanks. Boomski, that's pretty dope. Brinley's gonna have fun. So there's 450 pairs of sunglasses in there. A lot of them are Prada and Oakley and things like that. So that was a pretty dope pickup. Was it your eyeglass sell-through rate for all brands and styles roughly? Only like 30%. So eyeglasses are my slowest movers, but they're so easy and cheap to get that I'm okay listing them. I'm a little out of breath. I'm getting old. But when I cross-list them to Poshmark and Mercari, they go from a 30% sell-through rate to 50%. And now I'm hoping that Whatnot static sales will continue to pump the way they are. And now I'm back on Depop, and those sold really well on Depop. So I think that I can get my eyeglass sell-through rate up to 60 or 70%, which would be awesome. So, Timothy, appreciate the question. It's 30% on eBay, 50% when I cross-list to Poshmark and Mercari, maybe 40, 45. And then I'm hoping that it's about 60 when I include Whatnot static sales and Depop. So check back with me in like 2 months. I'd love to re-answer that question. Punch ups are sleeper sourcing methods. Bought a new HP printer for $120, sold it same day for $500 plus shipping. That's insane. That's a really good flip. There's a controversial video posted on YouTube today about people that kind of disagree with that ideology, but I think that's a great flip. I was watching a video of yours and you came across some strainers that are worth some good money. What are the best brands of strainers and pots and pans other than Salad Master? Man, that must have been a really old video because I don't even remember that. But All-Clad is awesome. Hex-Clad is awesome. And Salad Master. Those are really the only three that I buy. I really don't buy any outside of those three. Maxim can be okay. Thank you, makes sense. I need to watch more live sales. Yeah, live selling is awesome. Want to say thanks for the info on the Dr. Pepper creamy coconut drinks. Just sold my last 12-pack this week. Curtis Millage, good stuff, man. I see you on First Class Treasures all the time. Appreciate you being there. Yeah, a lot of people just can't understand. So I talk about sales rate all the time, and people don't understand the multi-quantity side of it. So people will search Dr. Pepper creamy coconut, and they'll see that they're like 150 listed and only 26 sold, and they're like, oh, that's a terrible sell-through rate. But then you see that there are 1,500 sold under one listing, and it's like, oh wow, that has an incredible sell-through rate. Have you heard about the $800 rule that I guess has been signed that would affect eBay? $800 rule? No. Do you mean the $600 rule about taxes? I don't know. Unclear what you're asking about. You can ask it again if you'd like to. If I got an item for free and it sold on eBay for $60, should I put the one I have for $60 or way less? I would list it. It depends on the sell-through rate. So if there are 100 listed and only 5 sold, then I would list mine for $40. If there were 100 listed and 100 sold, then I would just list mine for $60 and I would accept any offer over $40 is how I would do it. Bought an $800 lot of games on Facebook for $300, sold all in a week. That's what I'm talking about. I think paying up for fast sell-through items is much better. So the Commonwealth Flipper and John Flippin' Ain't Easy like have this debate going back and forth in multiple videos about whether you should just buy $2 items that sell for $20 or buy $100 items that sell for like $200 to $250. I'm in the camp of paying up for something that's going to sell same week. But it seems like everybody else is in the camp of buy 50 items for $2 that sell for $2,000 over the next 5 years. And I don't agree with that. And I know that people mean somewhere in the middle, like, oh, only buy things for $2 or $5 that can 10x your money within a certain time frame. Still, I spend $100 to sell things for $150 and make a $15 profit all the time. Obviously, you want as many $1 and $2 and $3 items that sell for 30 or more, but it's way cooler to buy $300 in video games that are all going to sell in a week for only, even if it was only $600 and you only profited $200. You made $200 in a week plus everything else in your store that you got going on. Do both. I'm 21, been watching you since I started about 2 years ago, and I've been able to save $50K. Holy crap, dude. That is insane. Dude, congratulations, man. That is awesome. You are going to have an extremely successful life with that $50,000. If I were you, I would get that $50,000 invested and then just keep investing / saving half of your income, and you can do whatever you want in this world, man. That is insane. Congratulations, man. What are you selling? I'm selling ideologies of man for reselling. Have you had any success flipping Costco items? If so, what usually makes that? Yeah, I bought a ton of Calvin Klein underwear for $1.80 each that sold between $16 at the low end and $25 plus shipping on the high end. They only let me buy 10. But I've done that with underwear, with socks, mostly just clothing items. Can't fix stupid. Ain't that right? I want to know if Jose Rivera is the GOAT yet. Indeed, he is. Jose is the GOAT.